For centuries, the stories of Jericho, Sodom and Gomorrah were seen as mere myths, teaching lessons rather than historical events. But what if recent archaeological discoveries have brought these ancient cities back to life? The mysteries of these biblical cities are no longer just tales of fire and brimstone. They're pieces of real history waiting to be uncovered. Let's dive into what archaeologists have found. Jericho, known as one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, has long been a cornerstone of both archaeological studies and biblical narratives. Located near the Jordan River, Jericho's claim to fame comes from its biblical mention in the book of Joshua, where the city's walls famously fell after the Israelites marched around them for 7 days, accompanied by the sound of trumpets. But Jericho is more than just a biblical symbol. It's a real city with a real history. Archaeologists have been digging into Jericho's past for over a century, uncovering layers of civilization that date back thousands of years. The most famous excavation was carried out by Kathleen Kenyon in the 1950s. She found remnants of city walls that could match the biblical account. But there was an issue. The destruction layers she found were much older than the biblical story suggested. Kenyon's excavations suggested that the city's walls had collapsed around 1550 BCE, long before the Israelites are thought to have arrived. Despite this, recent discoveries and more refined dating methods have sparked renewed interest in Jericho's biblical connection. Archaeologist Dr. Bryant Wood has argued that the collapse of the city's walls could still match the timeline of the Israelite conquest. Wood's team found evidence of a large city with impressive fortifications that could have been destroyed in a sudden, cataclysmic event. The challenge lies in matching the biblical timeline with the physical evidence. But Jericho's continued excavation shows just how much potential there is for these ancient stories to hold historical truths. Jericho's significance in the Bible and its physical ruins invite deeper questions. Was the city's destruction by an earthquake, a siege, or the will of a divine force? The answer may never be completely clear. But what remains is the undeniable fact that Jericho is not just a myth. It's a real city, with real history, buried beneath the sands of time. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah are perhaps two of the most infamous in the Bible, known for their destruction due to their inhabitants' wickedness. The Bible's dramatic account of fire and brimstone raining down on the cities is not just a cautionary tale. It's also one of the most widely debated stories in archaeological and theological circles. For centuries, the exact locations of these cities remained a mystery, and many doubted whether they were anything more than allegorical figures in the Bible. But over the past few decades, archaeological discoveries have brought new evidence to light, changing the way we think about Sodom and Gomorrah. Researchers had long believed that the cities should be located at the southern end of the Dead Sea. This theory, however, was quickly challenged when no evidence of destruction consistent with the biblical narrative was found in the region. Instead, a more compelling case for the location of Sodom and Gomorrah emerged at the northern end of the Dead Sea, where archaeologist Dr. Stephen Collins began excavating a site known as Tel El Hammam. Collins and his team discovered that this ancient city showed signs of sudden destruction, consistent with the biblical description of Sodom's demise. Pottery shards found at the site were melted into glass, foundation stones had been scorched, and debris from the site showed signs of extreme heat, suggesting a firestorm or meteor strike. In fact, the extreme temperatures observed at Tel El Hammam could very well explain the fiery destruction described in Genesis. The evidence of desert glass, created by temperatures exceeding 6,000 degrees Celsius, supports the theory that a meteor exploded above the site, causing widespread devastation. This phenomenon, known as a Tunguska-type airburst, was witnessed in 1908 in Siberia, where a meteor exploded above the ground, releasing a massive amount of energy that flattened trees and ignited fires below. This catastrophic event, if it occurred in ancient times, could have created the destruction that the Bible describes. The findings at Tel el-Hammam not only fit the timeline of the biblical story, but also suggest that the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah may have been more than just a divine act. It could have been the result of a natural disaster, the echoes of which have remained in human memory for millennia. As archaeologists continued to explore the region around the Dead Sea, further evidence pointed to the northern end of the sea as a more likely location for Sodom. The Bible's account of Lot choosing the well-watered plains of the Jordan River for his settlement aligns with the geography of the northern Dead Sea, where the land is lush with springs and fertile soil. In Genesis 13, the text notes that Lot lifted up his eyes and saw the land like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. The northern end of the Dead Sea, with its abundant water sources, could have easily been seen as a fertile paradise in the ancient world. The area is also well suited to the description of a vast, flat plain, or kikar, which is the term used in the Bible to describe the region where Sodom and Gomorrah were located. Additionally, archaeological surveys have uncovered evidence of bitumen pits, a material mentioned in the Bible as being associated with Sodom. The presence of these pits in the northern Dead Sea region further supports the claim that this was the location of the biblical cities. Bitumen was used in ancient construction and even as a form of waterproofing, making it a valuable resource for the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah. Despite some earlier theories placing Sodom in the southern Dead Sea region, the evidence from the northern Dead Sea area provides a much stronger case for the biblical city's location. The alignment of geography, historical texts, and archaeological findings paints a compelling picture of the lost cities of the plain waiting to be rediscovered. Whilst the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is one of the Bible's most dramatic stories, according to Genesis 19, God sent 2 angels to rescue Lot and his family before the cities were destroyed. As they fled, fire and brimstone rained down upon the cities, utterly consuming them. The immediate and total nature of this destruction raises questions about the events leading to such an end. Was it a natural disaster, a divine act of judgment, or something else entirely? The findings at Tel el-Hammam suggest that the biblical account may not be entirely mythical. The city's sudden abandonment and the extreme heat levels found in the excavation are consistent with the idea of an apocalyptic event. The presence of melted pottery and other artifacts supports the theory of a cataclysmic event that consumed the cities. And as researchers continue to study the destruction at Tel el-Hammam, one thing is clear. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not just a tale of divine punishment. The evidence points to an event that could have been both natural and catastrophic, a combination of human actions and natural forces coming together to create a devastating end. Some scholars have suggested that the destruction may have been the result of an earthquake, with the ensuing firestorms causing widespread damage. Others propose that a meteor or comet exploded above the city, sending debris and fire to the ground. Whatever the cause, the evidence from Tel el-Hammam and surrounding sites suggests that the biblical account of fire raining down from the sky is not just a metaphor. It may be rooted in a real, catastrophic event. The discoveries at Jericho and Tel el-Hammam have significant implications for our understanding of biblical history. These archaeological findings challenge the long-held belief that the stories in the Bible are merely allegories, intended to convey moral lessons rather than historical truths. While there is still much to learn about the ancient cities of the Bible, the evidence uncovered so far suggests that these cities were real places that met dramatic and catastrophic ends. The continuing exploration of these sites offers us a unique window into the ancient world, where the line between history and myth becomes increasingly blurred. The biblical accounts of Jericho, Sodom, and Gomorrah may not be as fantastical as once thought. And the evidence found at these sites could rewrite the way we view ancient texts. Ultimately, the discoveries at Jericho and Tel el-Hammam remind us that history is often more complex and fascinating than we realize. The past is not just a series of stories. It's a mosaic of real events, waiting to be uncovered and understood. The cities of Jericho, Sodom and Gomorrah may have been lost to time, but with each new archaeological find, we're closer to unraveling the mysteries of the ancient world. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient history, hit like and subscribe for more uncovering myths and truths. Stay tuned for more discoveries. See you in the next video.